I'll be going over fees estimate in this video. And before I get started, make sure that you've got the add-on installed, that it's been activated with the subscription ID. And if it didn't save for whatever reason, do it in incognito mode to bypass Google's cache. Also, verify that you've added your seller nickname or your store nickname into Gorilla ROI. This is not your Amazon store that you officially use, but this is the one that you enter into our system to just make it easier for when you're creating formulas. And lastly, if you're in the UK or if you're in a Spanish-speaking country, make sure you use semicolon instead of comma. So let's get started. I've got my list of ASINs in column A. I've used ASIN list to load all of the ASINs in this account called test seller 2. So in column A, I've got this information. Now in column B, in order to get the fees estimate, so what this is going to show is the total fees for each of the ASINs. And to do that, you're going to do gorilla underscore fees estimate. And now it's going to highlight which filter or attributes that you need to add. So seller ID is in cell A1, and you can manually type it in if you want inside quotation marks, but I like to just reference the cell to make it easy. I'm also going to press F4 so that it locks the reference in, because when I drag the formula, I don't want the cell shifting to a different place and losing its position and then trying to look it up for some weird value. Okay, so moving on to the next one, it's going to ask me to enter a list of SKUs or a list of ASINs. We use these interchangeably. I'm going to select this entire range from A2 down to A16. Okay, again, I'm going to press F4 to lock it in place, because when I drag it to the right, I don't want it to move places. And then for the marketplace, by default, it's going to load whatever you connected to when you signed up with Gorilla ROI. In this case, it's going to default to US, but if I wanted to say get something for Canada, I can enter CA or Mexico MX. But in this case, I'm just going to leave it empty. I'm going to close the formula, press enter, and now it's going to load all of the fees for each of the ASINs I have from A2 down to A16. Now, to get a granular, let's say you only want to pull in the FBA fees. So in this case, I've already got the formula, but here's how it works. I'm going to delete this. It's going to delete the entire thing. So you can see how one formula is going to bulk load all of the information for you. Gorilla underscore fees estimate. Again, select this test seller name or the nickname. It's in A1, comma. Okay, I'm going to lock the reference in again. So I click on A1 and then F4, comma. Now it's asking me for the range of the SKUs or the ASINs. So A2 down to A16, F4 to get these dollar signs in place and lock in the reference, comma. For the marketplace, I'm going to skip it. So I'm going to leave it blank. You can see that I've just put a space and then entered comma. And now it's going to ask me for the return style or a more granular filter for the results that I want to get pretty much. So I'm going to select C1 because I want it for FBA fees, and then the next one I want it for per item fee, referral fee, and variable closing fee. So I'm going to select this, make sure that everything is locked in. Okay, I don't need to do anything else because I'm only interested in getting FBA by default. It's going to be FBA, but if you wanted to get your fees for just FBM, then you can enter in quotation marks FBM. But I'm going to now close this out. And now this is going to load all of the FBA fees for each of the ASINs. Now, rather than having to re-enter all of the formulas, because I've locked in the references, and this was the whole point, I'm going to drag this formula across to the right, and it's now going to bulk load the entire table. And just to verify, okay, it's still selected as test seller 1. The range of the ASINs didn't move, but the only thing that moved was the header name, and that's exactly what I wanted. So there's nothing on the per item fee, but then on the referral fee, you'll see this. There's nothing on the variable fee. So this is how you use fees estimate. Another option is if you want to see a full breakdown on a single ASIN, this is what you can do. Gorilla underscore fees estimate. Select the seller nickname, let's say for here I only want to select one SKU or ASIN. Okay, I'm just going to select that first one, skip marketplace, return style, and here there's a format called, let's see, full. Okay, full. I'm going to close this formula out, and it will auto generate a table and give you all the details for that single ASIN that I selected, A2. So you can see that this formula in H2 now generated all of this information, and it's going to break down and give you an exploded view of how all the different values are calculated. And so using this data, you can really dig into your fees. You can really dig and make sure that your products are being charged the right amount. And if it isn't, we have another video related to reimbursements where you can go in and request Amazon to reimburse you for all the excess fees that they've charged you.